straight back into the action, guys. They're not wasting time at all on these videos. We're into Royal Blood, as in the top right-hand corner from the Shopify Rebellion, our Orange Terran player. This is ByuN. On the other side of the map, we're going to see how a red Protoss player from Team Liquid. This is going to be SKillous. Liquid Skill. How about that for shortening of the name? As we get ready for map 1 of this best of 3. And see who is going to advance through the grand finals today. Let's get this up and running. Crowbar Barney, thank you so much for the 35-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciated. Thanks for continuing to support the channel. Really appreciate it. You guys rock. Well, you rock. But everyone that supports the channel rocks. Thank you so much as we have our probies building on up. I'm just going to figure out where we're going to take things here over the next few moments. A Reaper of ByuN already coming down to the bottom side. We do have a pylon and a Nexus here. And that will stand tall and see this Reaper. And the Reaper will obviously just poke against that for a few moments. Nothing too crazy or interesting. As we make our way through this, just going to be seeing the Reaper now actually going to go for the probe kill. And will succeed in that probe being killed off. We do have a Zealot across the map, though, so this is causing some issues. And that's going to delay the bunker. So 2 probes go down. The Zealot, being chaotic on the other side of the map as well. The Adept also here now, too, as there's one Marine trying to micro its booty off. He's going to run back up that ramp. The Reaper is going to stay alive, but now 2 SCVs have fallen. Our bunker will finish, but we've still got to get units to get into the bunker. The Adept gets surrounded by SCVs. It's a big win for ByuN compared to what this could have been. As SCVs continue in, the Zealot is going to get surrounded there. Good job well done. It's going to be seen how Hellion continue to poke its way through this Zealot. 5 SCVs go down. I mean, just feels as though that could have been so much worse, because it felt as though that might have just never ended. As we do recall this Stalker from the front, and 27 probes to 21. I think SKillous is still pretty happy about how this starts off. It just could have been a whole bunch worse, that's for sure. Damn. Well then. Hey, a couple of Marines coming out from the racks here as we get this up and rolling and just seeing what our next step of everything is going to be. Got a few moments to figure things out. Blink Corona boosting along, just going to be seeing the Robo coming up. How many gates we go into? Just the 3 gates for the moment, so that kind of middle of the road kind of aggression from SKillous. He'll have 3 gates of warp-ins. He can still take a faster 3rd Nexus than if this was like a 4th gateway. So yeah, it's kind of, like I said, a little bit down the middle in that regard. Hey, thanks so much, Fine944, by the way, for the 2-month resub on the Prime. And also Maladin on the fresh new Prime sub as well. Thank you so much for the generosity on both fronts, guys. I really appreciate it as this Reaper, once another probe doesn't have the time to get one more shot off, so this Reaper will be the one to drop. And that Reaper is going to be controlled with the Hellion to get at least one more probe, though. So ByuN really just trying to scrape together some more workers after the early game was obviously a little bit rough for him. So that blink coming through, it's going to be finishing shortly. The Observer coming out on the Robo. Barracks finishes up onto the reactor. Just going to see 2 more barracks coming in. And that will be 3 racks in total. Just going to be seeing our siege tank complete, and our Raven still about to complete. As we do have our Raven popping out, and just the tank getting set up defensively. We saw this tank in the previous series against Forjumi, was well positioned and good enough to be able to defend against the initial Zealot attack that came through. As Blink finishes here, SKillous is not really set up to be aggressive, actually. He's not on the map, he's not raring to get to the other side or anything, so this actually seems to be a pretty slow-going establishment for the early minutes. Just happy to take his 3rd base. He's going to go charge and +1 from here as well, so sticking to that 3 gas for quite a while. We'll be looking to work from there as our Stalkers come down to the bottom, and just going to be seeing the Raven immediately, perhaps in some trouble. Raven's just going to get stuck there, but as long as the Stalkers are sat on either side, you know, it's supply for supply. Yes, some of ByuN's supply is stuck over here, but a bunch of SKillous' supply is stuck there too, and ByuN's okay with that because it means it's less likely SKillous is going to be able to make any aggression happen from this. Looks like ByuN was kind of aware of the Observer there. He kind of moved toward it with all those Marines, but he doesn't have the scan just yet, so if he does know about it, he can't detect it. Obviously, the Raven's not at home to detect it either, so yeah, for now he just has to sit back and just sort of accept the current situation. Stem combat +1, all building up on the side of ByuN. So again, those upgrades going, getting some of the bio units coming out as well. Order turret does come down as the second Raven makes an appearance, so it actually gets 4 probes to the left side of the main. Raven number 1 is here, and Raven number 2 is actually getting damaged. So again, ByuN seeming to enjoy these double Raven openers. I like it a lot more against Blink Stalkers than I did against the Phoenix. Obviously, it worked out last game. I feel like if you run that kind of, you know, simulation 10 times, the Ravens really do regret having a second one of them made. There's going to be another 4 probes potentially. He doesn't quite have the shot on the low HP. But it's still 3. And ByuN is able to get some really good consistent damage. And as he hits all of his bio upgrades, he has a pretty sizable army lead already. This is something which bio typically gets. And it's one of the first hurdles you really play against in a game as the Protoss. Making sure that you can deal with this first wave that does just surge at this point in time. You know, and the Terran gets a 3rd CC behind it and everything. As long as you survive here, you're typically good as the pros because more of your tech comes online, your extra production's coming online, etc. It's this push that's very scary, and this push is the one from ByuN that right now, like I say, has, in my eyes, quite a bit of potential. Now, he loads up the 2 Medivacs probe here, gets to spot those, so this attack is kind of figured out. SKillous should be able to respond to this without taking too much damage. He's got a single Stalker on the edge. Maybe he didn't quite see this as well as I thought he did, as we do have the Medivacs now going to boost in. Well, into the back we go. The Stalkers were on the way here, but they're just not here yet. A few Zealots getting warped in as well as ByuN will pull back. The Super Battery gets popped here as well. The last Medivac is pulling away. At the same time, we've got the Widow Minefield just going to clean up Zealots on the front lines. So that means that ByuN can continue his attack towards the 3rd, perhaps. Medivac saves only 1 Marine in the main base of SKillous. And evacuation goes down without too much of a hitch. And ByuN still has the 2 tanks here that are edging forward. The mine's on cooldown. He has 1 mine that's about to activate again, so he's going to be able to get this off onto the Zealots, which is a good shot on the Zealots, to be fair. The tanks will, A, tank some damage, and B, deal some damage too, but it looks like SKillous has enough to push this back and to clean this out. This is going to be SKillous chasing ByuN away, chasing ByuN back home. Stalkers coming in again there with that blink, and the Marauders say, "Nuh-uh," and they put some damage onto the Stalkers once again. Well, ByuN is going to come out of this with still 1 Raven alive, still mostly on the Bioforce. He's against Stalkers, a couple of Mortals, and an Archon. Obviously, the potential to warp in a bunch of Zealots is there. 8 gateways and charges completed. SKillous starting to look towards his first real tech of the game, or first splash damage tech of the game, I should say. He's got real tech. He's got, you know, Twilight Council upgrades. He's got the Archon. The Robo Bay is obviously something that really changes the pace of this game a little bit. It's going to be some good tech from SKillous. It's something that ByuN typically has to respond to as well. As this army starts to move out down this right-hand side. A few more Marines streaming across. We've already got some more units from SKillous warped in on the left side. The Bio just pushes forwards here. Good EMP is catching a lot of this. And this is a good time still for ByuN. Right, he hits Ghosts. And he's playing with Ghosts against someone who's still mostly playing, you know, just kind of this gateway army. Ghosts are actually meant to shred this. And now the anti-armor missile on these Stalkers are going to say bye-bye to them. You guys better be blinking down out of trouble. And they do start to do that as Marines and Ghosts come in on the other side. A couple of Zealots will be going down. 5 SCVs lost. As ByuN takes, I mean, just a big win in the fight. He trades out very well here. Resources loss is going to favor him by about 2k. If you have a sneak at the army graph, you'll see that SKillous just lost so much in this battle. And yeah, he gets a few SCVs during it, but that's a lot of army to make up for. And what was kind of similar army supplies is now very incomparable. The good news from SKillous, as I mentioned, that Robo Bay, and he's got Disruptors on the way up. If there's ever a way to hold Disruptors off in time, might just be it. This couple of Disruptors still building, plus 2 attack coming in on the Forge. It's going to be seeing another Disruptor building up here as well in the Robo facility. armory just finished up on the side of ByuN 2. Our Bioforce goes to the left-hand side. Our fourth next coming up in the front. Our Bioforce will get rid of an initial pylon. I was going to say those disruptors, something you have to be careful of. When disruptor flies in, Widowmine gets hit. Turn around, we pull back, another Zealot goes down as well. Just going to be seeing still this force trying to contest. A few Zealots across the map again are going to get into a mineral line, will do a bit of damage. ByuN's dealing with this pretty well, however, this could be more dangerous because the Prism is going to get a warp into the main. Let's see if ByuN can keep control of this while his main army is still out on the map and not making any progress. He has not been able to make it on top of a base. He didn't get to drop into the main. SKillous has been good enough defensively and now is able to leverage a bit of an advantage with these Zealots on the other side. This time, it really did favor SKillous. Beforehand, his Zealots were doing okay, but he was taking a lot of damage at the same time. Absolutely not the case here. His defense was spot on to allow this to be just straight up a successful situation. Disruptors rallying out with the Stalkers for a few moments there. His medevacs are just waiting for a chance to jump on the main. Well, now would be the time to go because these armies... Oh my god, the disruptors are big because these armies are going to clash on the other side. ByuN kind of has to go. He has to start making something happen. Otherwise, he's just wasting units. His fourth base gets denied almost immediately. I almost feel as though SKillous will just instantly recall here, as he is going to recall into the main. Now, what's going to happen with this recall? It's scary, right? Because if ByuN had been able to just sort of get some EMPs and maybe attack, he could have done well. He unloads onto this low ground. There's going to be a disruptor here, and ByuN's not paying attention. He loads back up, so he is going to be able to nullify that disruptor shot. And now he's actually going to be able to kill that disruptor too. EMP onto the battery. The disruptor didn't actually die. With EMP now onto the Archon. The disruptor's flanking from across the map. They walked back here. And ByuN does have to escape. A sequence of events that just doesn't quite favor ByuN. SKillous looking pretty good for these few moments. And yeah, I mean, he had to recall, right? And the good news was he'd already got rid of the fourth base quickly, and that meant ByuN was able to recall to deny ByuN's drop before it really got much going. And without a fourth base, ByuN is on a bit of a timer. His army supply is still fantastic. SKillous' work account maybe isn't where it wants to be, but he has the bases to mine from. And like I say, right now that's not an issue for ByuN, but given a bit more time, this is definitely going to be troublesome for ByuN. It's something he has to think about. SKillous is very happy setting up later into this game. You can just see him going for the Shadow Stride into the Dark Shrine. That's obviously not a good time to have a lag out. That's one of our observers. Will unfortunately be dropping out here. This is a disruptive walk or some other form of locomotion. I guess it spins its way across the map, rotates its way to the other side. I guess we can say it just walks. Not with legs, though. It walks with rotation. Okay, so we're going to get back into this in a few moments as we will drop our
game paused.
player. I don't have referee, so these players will have to resume themselves. Alright, so dropping the main base is looking good. The army coming through the center also looking pretty good. As we knock down this battery and we're just going to have +3 finishing for skills. That's something at least. Then maybe kill that pylon just to stop these zealots from warping in. Maybe being cute. This force is just going to be left to trade out. As ByuN is pushing at the front, he's going to find the disruptors. Does he have enough to actually kill them? He's going to start running towards the disruptors. He loses the marauders. They're the real damage dealers onto these armored units. And ByuN will not be able to take the disruptors down. Super battery to support them. ByuN has got his natural expansion relocated to the fourth base, by the way. Biggest problem with that, it's only an orbital command. So now your fourth base is not as protected as it often might be in these games, where it's usually a planetary fortress. So that is likely going to be the problem. As SKillous is going to have Dark Templar to actually go onto this straight away. Well, this is actually the good part of this being an orbital, is that you can actually lift this up so it doesn't just die like a planetary would have done. So actually this being an orbital actually kind of saves you a bit here as ByuN These disruptors, man, are causing ByuN a lot of trouble. He's going to get rid of a couple of these shots this time, but a few do connect. And ByuN's supply is dropping heavily as SKillous is going to be able to take this first game. SKillous gets a 1-0 lead. Our orange Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. Pulse. Helen. What did I say? Realistic answers. Yeah, make my life difficult, huh? Backsy. See, you guys just all have the same players I've already written down on my list. Chachi. Jesus. Top red side, orange Terran from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. He's down a game against Team Liquid's SKillous in the bottom left-hand corner. I didn't have your answer written down. I had the realistic answers written down. This TY still around. TY just came back to playing, but I don't want to invite the guys that just returned yet because, you know, I feel like they maybe want to pick when they want to kind of play in tournaments, so I will not extend the invite. I don't want to be the guys like, hey, you just came back. You want to play my tournament so I can like grab the fact that you're back and stuff? Showtime. I feel like Showtime is not playing right now because he didn't play in the Open Cup, if I'm not mistaken. Makes me feel like he's maybe taking a break after Katowice. Marine actually gets the probe, which is nice. That is a Marine opening, though, so no Reaper to scout with this time from ByuN. That's maybe something SKillous can take to his favor. This is a big map altitude. Showtime streaming Hollow Knight. Wow. There you go. Second gas comes up from ByuN. Just going to be seeing our factory coming in, reactor coming up on the side of ByuN as well, so all of that getting going. I'm just going to be seeing our Stargate coming up on the side of SKillous, so get that started as we get this all underway. Plane coming in, Marines coming out. It's going to be seeing again our setup from ByuN, going to be that 1-1-1. One Hellion into Widow Mines most likely. As the Adept shows up, and we'll be able to get the SCV. 2 more Marines about to pop. That should be the safety net required to really deal with this. Especially with the Hellion as well. I have to turn around for a moment just in case the Adept does commit to the Shade, but after respecting that, looking good. The delay on the CC supply blocks ByuN for a handful of moments. So a slight delay on that. Just going to be seeing our Phoenix producing off that Stargate. A couple more Marines still coming through. Aliens come down to the low ground. A few more Marines still producing. Just going to see the probe popping out of this Nexus in the next few moments. And just going to be having our Phoenix. Going to go chase this medevac for a little bit. Just going to have some fun with that. Medevac obviously taking a few shots. Should just get a bit of a repair. It actually was more Hellions, by the way. So we're not going to go for the mines like I initially suggested that we might. It is in fact going to be the Hellions. And we'll see what SKillous' defense looks like against the triple Hellion drop as it goes to try and get across the map. He might not even have to defend against a triple Hellion drop, because at this point I don't think these Hellions are getting to the other side of the map as Marines. But trying to dance their way to a defense for this medevac. Eventually these Hellions are going to unload. Now he reloads them. There's another Phoenix showing up. This medevac's dead. I think ByuN obviously probably should have brought that back towards his base a little while ago. And just maybe being a little bit too greedy by trying to stay out and stay active there. Obviously really didn't work, whatever the plan was, unfortunately. So yeah, a little bit of a shame as our Cyclone will be finishing. Just going to be seeing a few Hellions do run in, so just going to run across the map. one-shot potential on them as none of them went down just yet. Still none of them. Finally, one does, and the second will be quick to follow. There should be 7 workers killed. This last Hellion needs one more shot to get anything extra and might be able to line up for a whole bunch here. There's still some low HP probes. The Adepts just cannot catch it. Oh my god, he's going to get another shot off. 10 workers. Don't tell me 11. No, the regen on the shields, but he gets 11 anyway. Finally, we get the kill. ByuN with the Hellion. Who needs the medevac when the Hellions can just run across the map? I mean, this is all because the Phoenix are still over here, and the Phoenix probably just don't feel afraid because it's like, well, we killed the medevac already. It's going to be okay, right? But 11 probes, especially that last Hellion really reaching and getting so many, about half of the workers there. From the final Hellion just running circles around the Adepts. SKillous' defense unfortunately falls apart as Marines get here defending against his initial couple of Phoenix. Wouldn't mind drop was definitely not the call from me early game, huh? Alright, going into 4 more barracks and ByuN just powering up as he gets his 3rd CC online. Double engineering base working, stim pack on the way. It's going to be a quiet few moments because obviously without the upgrades, ByuN doesn't have much he can do. He's got a Raven, but it's unlikely he gets that across the map due to the Phoenix, so really the only action for the foreseeable future is likely to be the Phoenix lifting some SCVs and getting some minor harassment done. Outside of that, I mean, you can see SKillous is not opting for the Robobay and Colossi this time. He's going to go for the Charge Lots. Now, as you go into Phoenix Charge, you're generally hoping the Terran pushes out toward you so you can swarm him with units and just completely overwhelm him all at once. That's usually the play that you kind of aim for, so I guess we'll see if that will perhaps be the goal here. As we have the Orbital Command continuing through, Raven and Marine still gathering up the Siege Tank as well. Command still coming up. Just gonna see this Orbital Command gonna land in the center. A few SCVs gonna transfer over as well. Just gonna get to that position as that Phoenix will lift up. The Marauder will go down. SCV picked off as well. Fire Force wants to come through here, and our Marines will be able to just push the Phoenix back a little bit. A couple missile turret shots going off, and now these Elves are gonna come swarming. All of a sudden, ByuN in quite a bit of trouble. Anti-armor missile going down. The rest of the bio showing up. Stim. He's going to be able to potentially activate here as we have the Phoenix, the Zealots, the Adepts all join up together. A couple of sentries as well. Going to see the rest of this going to charge on forward and just going to be seeing, well, this Bioforce just continue to trade out, but obviously out in the open a little bit, the kind of the choke point of the command center will help him. I tell you what will help him as well. 1-1 upgrades definitely allowing him to shred through the Zealots a little bit faster there, and ByuN actually does okay defending. He will survive this. Chase down the Phoenix for a little bit too. They need to be careful. Looked like they were about to go diving back over the Marines, which would have been less than ideal. Now another wave of Zealots. SKillous is very committed here. He's got no forges. He's got no tech on the follow-up. If this attack doesn't work, he might just tap out of this because he knows there's a lot of bio units remaining. He's gotten rid of a couple more medevacs, and he'll try and do something with the Phoenix, but I mean, especially being behind on upgrades, he's just not in an easy position to recover from. And that's genuinely going to be quite a problem for him now. As we got another round of Zealots, I mean, maybe if there's not enough healing, these Zealots can eventually overwhelm the bio, but it's just going to be so tough because you're playing against someone that has 1-1. I guess the hope is, like I say, maybe not enough medevacs, not enough healing. Every time you stim, the bio units are hurting themselves. Yeah, I mean, SKillous just warping in another 10 Zealots and kind of just hoping. We're actually about to finish up combat shields, so the fact that that hasn't even been done for ByuN is just going to be something that helps him to improve the situation. Has to kite back once again. He's got reinforcements from the main base, these additional Marines. Again, just mean that the Zealots are not doing enough. The Phoenix count is obviously very low at this point too, so you're not even really chasing the medevacs down at this stage. SKillous will drop a Templar Archives, warps in one more round of Zealots. But he's down almost, well, he's down about 30-40 supply. 30 supply, 35 let's say. Slap bang in the middle. And really behind in tech, I mean, again, there's going to be a stage of this game where it's going to be 2-2 against 0-0, and that is not fun. When you're playing a very kind of, you know, Zealot-focused army, a Gateway-focused army in general, upgrades are going to have more of an impact than usual. I think of the Temple Archives, I almost want to see Storm, not because it's likely that he gets there, but because without Storm, you just are going to be behind on upgrades, and at least Storm doesn't care about upgrades. So that maybe could have been one of the ways to turn that around. The bottom right corner, our orange Terran from the Shopify Rebellion is ByuN. Signing it up, defending against those Zealots. It all came about because of the initial Hellions that really did way more than they were ever meant to. Given the fact that SKillous knew they were around, knew they were a threat, they really shouldn't have been able to do as well as they did. Top left, right Protoss player from Team Liquid. This is SKillous. Map number 3 with Grozvan going to be the battlefield. Already see a probe coming across. Heading down to the bottom right. Iraq's coming up over here. Refinery coming in. All of this getting established for the moment. That probe is going to waddle up in towards the main base, where it can come around for a little bit of a spot. See what's up. SCV going to get a couple nibbles on that probe. Going to be seeing the cybernetics core. And getting started from SKillous. So Cybercore before Nexus once again. ByuN opting to not go Reaper, instead of Marine. This means he does have the gas for the factory more quickly than usual. So that will be sped up. That potentially leads into a faster Widowmine / Hellion drop. By about 50 gas or so, but little things can definitely have, you know, big differences in these games. Dep just continuing to build right now. It's going to be seeing our Simulator coming up about to finish. Nexus is coming up on the Natural as well. It's going to be seeing the Reactor about to finish on the Barracks. Here is the Marine looking for the probe. Gets the kill again. Probe went down last game too, so early game probes not having a good time, not able to get out of the reach of those Marines, which have been able to bring some fire so far. There is that Stargate coming up. Our command center's on the way in as well on the side of ByuN. With triple CC so early, obviously ByuN's going to just take a much more kind of, you know, macro-focused effort this game. He's going to add a second Rax as well. And if SKillous goes Phoenix here and just holds back with the Phoenix and doesn't scout and doesn't know what's up, very possible that SKillous ends up quite far behind, because then you just don't know what's happening. You're banking Phoenix at home, you're kind of preparing for potential aggression that isn't actually coming your way. And these are all possible problems, so yeah, just a few reasons to be maybe a bit worried if you're a SKillous fan right now. Ideally, he sends his first Phoenix across the map to scout. It's obviously a bit sad, because then you're like, hey, look, what I'm building Phoenix. So you give ByuN the information. The problem is, if you don't give ByuN that information, you don't get the information yourself. So it's a gamble you take. And right now, it looks like SKillous is gambling. And unfortunately for him, this time, the gamble really has the odds shifted in the favor of ByuN. So, not ideal. I think maybe actually that's... The two Phoenix together are now coming across the map, so that is good. So you're going to scout at some point at least. You're going to see 3 racks, you're going to see 3rd CC most likely. Just needs to get into the base to actually again confirm this. Mobile facility, by the way, coming up from SKillous, so in that going too is the couple Phoenix that you dot in. They will see everything here, right? You can see the racks. They went far enough in to see the 3rd CC too. Oh, they did not? Okay, but they see the factory timing, and I think the factory timing should then be a bit of a sign, a bit of an indicator as to what's currently going on, I have to guess. Just going to be having a Phoenix still moving over here, just going to be having the lift on an SCV. The Marines getting some more damage done. Phoenix got pushed back again. Robo base still producing. The Phoenix want to get back into this main. Where again, a few Marines are sitting pretty ready just to fight without really any issue at all. There we go. Phoenix gonna lift up one more SCV. Marines coming through. And we'll see Phoenix just getting what damage they can do. And we're back to the Robo Bay following these Phoenix. So not gonna go for that charged lot. Kind of big zealot play. That big kind of very aggressive style to follow this up. The Phoenix just checking the main for a few moments. Gonna realize there's just a couple of ByuN units there. Nothing too major. And the orbital command is floating down to a third base over these next few moments as well. It's just gonna float on down there. Just going by, gonna head toward that main. Again, combat shield, +1 attack. We're just going through for the moment as that couple of Marines will be taken down just for the moment here. It's gonna be seen as extra sentries warping through. And the Phoenix is gonna pick up another couple of these SCVs, so SCVs will be getting picked away at. The Marines would really like to get underneath and pick off those Phoenix. All accounts on the Forge are building on the side of SKillous and just ready to keep on improving his tech as he hits the Phoenix Colossus stage. You want to then probably move into towards charge lots after, and obviously the Forge upgrades are good. So ByuN is going to load up, flies by the Phoenix. The Phoenix obviously going to see that, and ByuN will have to begin unloading here. He'll be able to turn the Phoenix around at least, but obviously now his drop's been figured out. ByuN's going to have to go back to the drawing board of this offense, try and figure out his new pathway onto the other side as Bio comes across here. Just gonna get the Phoenix, take quite a few shots, getting pushed over the sides. A couple more pylons down on the front as well. I just seen that Ghost Academy, by the way, coming through from ByuN. Ghosts are very important in this because obviously they can take the energy off the Phoenix. They can make them way less tanky, and EMP'd Colossi are much more targetable as well. So it is normal to go EMPs first and then Vikings later. A lot of the time when you play against this, you're like, man, do I just need like a lot of Vikings straight away? Nowadays, Terrans do trend toward the Ghosts and have an EMP option open to them, more so than anything else. It's tempting to try and grab a Phoenix, as I don't think this is a fight that ByuN can really walk into. I mean, you're talking about a couple Colossi here. There's not a lot on the ground. Obviously, sentries and force fields might have a pretty big thing to say about it, as we just stemmed the Marauders this time from ByuN, so just trying to find, again, maybe the chance to target down a Colossus or so. Wouldn't mind eaten up by a Phoenix. ByuN starts to build his fourth base on location. SKillous actually pushing forward, but here are the EMPs, and maybe SKillous doesn't want to be this far forward. No EMPs to protect the Colossi. The Phoenix will lift up every Marauder that they can, but the ground army's going to get absolutely battered here, and this Colossus force is gone. Suddenly it's just the Phoenix that remain. You see SKillous just kind of poking onto the map a bit too far, but the most important turning point of this, the EMPs, not a single force field, meaning that the Colossi are not protected from just the surge forward of units. Game is called. SKillous knows that's maybe a bit of a silly way to lose out so suddenly. And ByuN will take a 2-1 victory over SKillous, advancing to today's grand finals of the